at our nation's border with Mexico, we're about to show you, including graphic pictures, and in court we call that evidence, so that you can decide for yourself how bad it is. But first, Texas Governor Rick Perry took us and our cameras on a helicopter for an aerial view of the fence that separates the United States from Mexico. Now check it out. Tell us if you think this is a really effective fence. Governor Perry is not happy, as you may know, with President Obama. So we asked the governor, what would he do? And he tells us.
Tell me where we are in relation to the border and where we're going.
Well, we're headed just about due south right now. The border is going to be anywhere between 30 and 35 miles back to our west. And we're turning back and headed right towards it now.
And how many miles about border does Mexico and Texas share?
I think a little over 1,200 miles from Brownsville to El Paso. I think 1,254 to be spot on.
That's more than, I think, Washington to Chicago.
Sure. And 1,800 miles is the total Mexican-U.S. border, so we have approximately 64% of the entire border. One of our complaints with the federal government is that, they say, listen, we've sent the type of assets that you need down there to the border. What they're not telling you is that only 20% of those assets, this was Border Patrol, or excuse me, these were National Guard troops, 20% of them came to Texas. So I'm an animal science major, but I can do the math on that pretty quick, that 64% of the border and you only get 20% of the assets, then you're getting short.
Why do you only get 20%?
I can't answer that question.
They won't answer, they won't tell you? So I think it's impossible for you just to pick up the phone and call the White House and say, this is the governor of the second largest state, right? Texas, second largest?
Right.
We have a problem here.
It's pretty difficult to correspond with this administration. Right down there's a fence.
You see?
Oh yeah, I see the fence.
Tell me back on. You can see how short the distance is from the river to the highway.
Is that fence effective?
No, ma'am. No, it's not.
It doesn't. I mean, it looks like I could get over it. That's why I wanted to ask it.
Or around it for sure.
Well, I could get around.
There's too many egress points, and none of the gates are closed. You can see how that gate is wide open right there. It's never closed. You can't deny the access to the landowner, so there's really no point.
Yeah.
It looks like I could get over it pretty easily.
You can walk through that gate.
Well, look, it's empty. All these different, it's not even locked. I mean, there are breaks in the gate.
And that's our point about having boots on the ground. You cannot secure a border with just technology or just fences or just aviation assets for that matter. You have to have boots on the ground. So we're spending millions of dollars down there building this fence, and I'll guarantee you, the 15-foot ladder business is going to get good on that 14-foot fence.
Well, that's what Secretary of Homeland Security Janet Napolitano says about fences.
Yeah.
You just get a ladder.
Yep.
So why are we building that fence?
I have no idea.
Who's paying for that?
There's probably some utility for strategic fencing in the urban areas. But out here in the country, the idea that we're building that fence right there is a waste of money.
Well, you governors are having quite a challenge.
Well, and it's really interesting. I happen to, there are a few things that the federal government is supposed to really be good at. Border security is one of them. Now, they spend a lot of time and a lot of money on things that, frankly, I don't think the federal government needs to be involved with, whether it's, energy policy or healthcare delivery or transportation or how to educate our children. And for me, it's an issue of priorities. So, President of the United States and Congress, one of their major priorities should be keeping their citizens safe, securing that border. Before they ever spend a dime for helping another country come up with how to do deep water drilling, the way the president did with Brazil last month, before we ever spend another sack of billions of dollars on foreign aid, we ought to make sure that river right there is secure. That is one of the constitutional duties the federal government's supposed to do. And it's why I wrote the book Fed Up and talked about the 10th Amendment. And the states need to be doing the health care, educating our children. But at not our duty to defend that border. There's a point in time where I have to say, you know what, it's clear the federal government's not going to do this and secure our border, and I have to go as best I can, try to protect the people of the state of Texas. That's why you saw that command post. That's why you've seen all of these assets that have been deployed along this border.
All right, so let me trap
Down 83 and then cut back north.
Let me trap you. Let me trap you in the question. With all your level of disappointment, for lack of a better word, with the federal government for taking care of these issues, you say you don't want to run for president. Why not? Or are you tempted?
At the end of the day, for the next week, I've got a legislative session that I'm focused on, and my hope is that person will come forward that can win the presidency that we can all get behind.
Are you tempted?
Oh, I can't say I'm not tempted, but the fact is, this isn't something that I want to do.
Oh, but you said, we've now spent about an hour going through all the things that you think they're not paying attention to. They're not listening. Border, illegal immigration, all those issues that are important to the state and important to the nation.
They are indeed.
So are you a little bit more than tempted thinking about it? Touch? Bit?
Until I get my legislative session over with, I'm not going to get distracted from the work at hand.